Hi, everyone. It seems we have more people on LinkedIn than on Zoom. So we're starting right about now. Sorry for starting a bit behind schedule. That is Murphy setting in as well. People not joining at the right time when they need to join. That is maybe because one thing or the other happened on their end, and it's an emergency that they need to work around. My name is Leonard Ogunweide, and today we are going to be working together on what Murphy's Law is and how we can use it to better our life. And speaking of Murphy's Law, we are going to talk about a bunch of ways in which we can actually actualize it to get things working fine. The agenda for today, it's not really that much. It's basically for us to outsmart Murphy. Because every day in our lives, one way or the other, we have Murphy present. So how do we turn the chaos into plan right before it even turns to chaos? The agenda for today is one, we're going to have a pool, a fun icebreaker in form of a pool. We are going to understand what Murphy's Law is. We're going to work with real life examples or real life moments of how Murphy has shown up for me and for other people around me. Then we're going to talk about the Murphy-proof mindset. How do you Murphy-proof your mindset? And what are the tools and strategies to stay ahead? What are the tools and strategies to stay ahead? Then at the end, we're going to have a live poll, Q&A session for those who have questions. And we are also going to talk about the key takeaways and action points I will want you to do as this week continues. So the poll that we have first is this. I want you to use the chat box. This is going to be a point where we use the chat box a whole lot. The first one is the chat box is open to everyone, so please feel free to use it. What is the most memorable Murphy moment do you have you gotten in your life? Either missed a transportation, your tech failed, you have a lost document, or you have a last minute emergency. Or do you have another one that is not part of this? Please use the chat box and share your story in the chat. We'll give you 3 minutes to do that. Please use the chat box, 3 minutes to do that. What is that one thing that everything was going right until it started going wrong? You don't need to go into full details for us. Just give us the hint. Is it a mistransportation? Is it a document that you believe is supposed to be available, but all of a sudden disappeared or something? You have 3 minutes. Let's look at the chat box as we walk around this. 3 minutes, please. Like I mentioned before, today's class is going to be a whole lot of artwork and artwork as well. Because for you to master Murphy, you need more than just lost documents. Come out. I had tech failure many times. May rejoice. Okay. Do any one of you want to unmute and tell us? Okay, Mary Joyce, should we pick you first? Just unmute and tell us what happened in just few words. You should be able to unmute yourself. Give me a moment.
Okay. Good
Yes,
evening, everyone.
good
I don't know.
evening.
Most times when I'm trying to do something serious, my phone fails. Like that's when it freezes, even when it has been working very well. When I need it the most, it freezes. It doesn't charge. Actually, even tomorrow I have a meeting and it has failed to turn on. So I think I've gotten that many times. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I love that. Kamal. Do you want to share your Murphy moment with us? Lost document in brief words.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hi.
Okay, for me, the last time I lost my document, I was unable to trace all what I had written there. So when the opportunity was open, I was not able to apply because I didn't have the document that I required. Thank you.
Okay. So let me ask you something, Kamal. The document that got lost, is it that you don't know where you kept it, or what happened? Do you mind sharing with us?
Yes, I don't know. I didn't remember where I kept, so I was not able to trace them where they are.
Awesome. Awesome. I love this. Angela, do you want to share the last minute emergency with us? I think we've had tech failure with Mary Joyce. Do you want to share what you mean by last minute emergency with us?
Yeah, mostly what I mean by the last minute emergencies are, let's say, when we have team meetings and then you call your team members and like, hey, we're supposed to meet today. What happened? Oh, we didn't close from work early, or something just came up, so I can't join the meeting and stuff like that. And then tech failure, I think it happens to everybody. Like,
I like that. So we've had three different mindset. We've had someone who lost document and could not do what needs to be done when the time called for it to be done. We have last minute emergencies. You call meeting and there is no one to attend to you. And tech failure. When you need it most, that is when the problem happens. Those are fantastic example of Murphy. Now, what is Murphy? I know when the what's the call went out, the application went out. I know a bunch of people of us will have gone to check what is Murphy. It's simple. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's just simple. But for an African mindset, there is always this mindset that we have. Yeah, it's bad luck. But it's Murphy really bad luck? Or is it just probability at work? Does Murphy help us to think about risk, or it pushes us to fear risk? Now, the question we should ask, the key question we should ask is, if this go wrong, am I ready to face the wrong? Remember a few weeks ago, we were in a training in Nairobi with some of my friends, and I may mention something in this direction, that I plan my life on the negative, and everybody looks at me like, are you all right? But I know what I'm saying. And today, we are going to dive deep into it. Just keep this in your mind. Anything that can go wrong, emphasis on that can. Anything that can go wrong will. Now, as we move towards, we're going to talk about 4 real life scenarios. And if you relate to these, you could just use the chat box. We want to use the chat box as much as possible tonight, because if we ask us to keep talking, we won't have time. But at some point, we want us to get feedback from you guys. Number 1, let's talk about forgotten appointments. Has it ever happened to you before? Please use the chat box if those are on LinkedIn, on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We are watching what you're typing to. So if you have any question, please drop it in. Have you ever been in a position where you are supposed to go somewhere, you are buried in a lot of work, or you have a meeting scheduled for, say, 2 p.m., and you are buried with a lot of work, and before you know it, you check the time, because you didn't even outside whether the day is getting darker or not, and you check the time and the time is already 4 p.m. Has it ever happened to you before? Can we use the chat box? Has it ever happened to you before? Alarm did not ring, nothing happened, and you missed that meeting, and you like, this has happened over and over for me. And this is a real scenario of forgotten appointment, Murphy in action. But how do we Murphy prove things like this? When we get to the front, we were going to discuss about it. What about missed flights? At this point, I think I told the story. I can't remember if I told the story, in the back. A few years ago, I was traveling and I got to the airport way early than my normal time of going to the airport. And the next thing I noticed, oh, forgotten appointment. Okay. I think Kamal said forgotten appointment. All right. I got to the airport early. I have them in my hand, but my visa was approved, but I didn't download it from the website. In my mind, I would download it when I get to the airport. What's the worst that can happen? It's just 545 kilobytes. And how long would that take me to download? I got to the airport, sat down, connected to the airport Wi-Fi, and I clicked download on the visa, and it kept just rolling. I took another browser, it doesn't work. So I turn off my phone, restart it, nothing happened. And like that, I watch my friends pass through immigration. I'm still out here running hectare to just get the visa approved. I was showing approval information to the people that are supposed to let me into the plane. Like, this is it. I have it. But like, sorry, can you download it out because we want to say it? So don't do that. What should I have done? What should I have done? Can I just like download it offline while I notice that it has been approved at home? Can I just print a copy of it? Can't I just open and screenshot just to show them that it has been approved? Oh, I love this. I mistook the meeting for a different date. So they call me asking where I am. I was sleeping. I thought the meeting was for the next day. You see, Murphy in action. Last week, I had to moderate a dialogue on YouTube and got power outage an hour to the dialogue. This is how crazy Murphy shows up. Thank you, Mary Joyce, for sharing that with us. Now, let's talk about wedding dress disaster. Someone mentioned this. It actually happened on my wedding. Before wedding, a lady told myself and my wife to be, as her then, she said, as you are making your wedding dress, just to make sure you have another dress available because Murphy can show up at any time and the wedding dress is going to have issues. And guess what? Reception started and we're not even up to an hour into the reception. The wedding dress Murphy actually come to the wedding ceremony and the wedding dress got issues. Thank goodness. Well, listen, and I have a backup. And we already have power outage from Mary Joyce. But now, the question is, this life or is it just? Those are the questions that we want to answer today. So the most important thing is for us to have the Murphy mindset. And what do I mean by Murphy mindset? Oh, sorry. What do I mean by Murphy mindset? A Murphy mindset tells you what to do before Murphy comes. And there are 4 ways to actually think in a Murphy mindset. Number 1 is to think like Murphy himself. How do I mean by thinking like Murphy himself? 1, pour weak link before it spoils the whole plan for you. What is that one thing that, if not properly addressed, would destroy what you have been working on for years or for months? For someone like Mary Joyce who wants to work on moderating the panel and would sleep off at the point where she is supposed to wake up, why not set multiple alarms before? Having multiple alarms set up will automatically keep ringing until you wake up. But be like, nothing is going to happen. Is it not just for me to sleep small and wake up? And that is where we always have the issue. Now, thinking like Murphy what will make this thing flop? And how would it flop? Who will flop it? Where will it flop? So when we put all these things into mind from the beginning, you will have used the negatives to work around the positives. So what are the weak links that I need to think about and I need to take out of the way? The second one is to plan for failure. Some will say, how do you plan for failure? Everybody plans to succeed. So you're asking us to plan for failure. The main reason why I say you should plan for failure is because when you've eliminated every opportunity that can make your project or your life, as it were, fail, then the only thing remaining is what will make it not fail. The only thing that remains are multiplications and the additions. So there is no way someone like person that have power outage, can you prepare probably like a torchlight that has battery that can give you light in your face? Your phone or your system is completely charged, but light can go at any point in time, but you need your face to be clear. Why not look for a battery torchlight and be prepared? That's a backup. For someone who wants to go somewhere, who is not really having enough time to get things done, why not build redundancy into your plan? And the next one is build margin. How do you mean by build margin? Okay. Today, this masterclass to start 6 o'clock. But the main truth is it's supposed to start for 6:15. But 6 o'clock went out, knowing fully well that a bunch of people will be going home around that 6 or be getting home around that 6, and they might not be able to join it. So there is a space of 15 minutes before the main program starts. And as you can see, the people on LinkedIn came 5 minutes after. Few people came on LinkedIn 5 minutes after. Zoom 10, 11 minutes after. The margin built in is there. And when it comes to resources or finances, you want to run a project and you're like, okay, what are they selling in the markets? You write your proposal today and the event is in December, and you just give the exact details of what you want to use in as September, what do you think will happen? Then the project is closing in on getting an uninvited visitation from Murphy. Because by the time December comes, the price of things has gone up because the price never comes down. The price of things had gone up, and now you are running extra skater to cover up for the deficit that you now have. But just imagine you build redundancy or you build a buffer inside your budget from the get-go. That will give you opportunity to be able to weather the storm of that. And the last one on the Murphy-proof mindset is what I love so much. Stay playful. Sometimes it's very good to just laugh when things fail. Yeah. Just laugh. Sometimes you've done everything possible in your power, but at the end, it still fails. At that point, don't beat yourself too hard. Why? Because it is not now Murphy that comes, it is just that it failed. You've beaten Murphy as in its own stead, but it still failed. When there are small failures around, you can know fully well that you have done what you need to do and you are fine. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about is give me a moment. Is Murphy-proof tools. What are the tools available for you? On one side, on my right-hand side, you have the scenario names, and on the other side of it, it has the simple explanation of it. What is pre-mortem? Imagine failure from the start, even before it happens. Imagine failure before it happens. And fix it. During the exam, let me give you an example. I wrote a mention. We had a competition and we were four or five team of us were given the same problem to solve, and the winner goes home with an award, recognition, and the likes. And what I did first was, me and my team, alongside my team, We were just running around, eating ourselves, fought at some point. But I went out and used style to look at what other people are doing, try to connect with them and talk to them. And with the help of every other person on the team, we imagine what failure of that scenario could look like, walked around it, walked from the back, and we did our presentation. And the question was asked by the judge that will have thrown us off balance. But because we've walked from behind, we were able to answer that question. Understand that the judges also have. And guess what? My team won. And one person from the training come to ask me, Leon, come, you need to tell me what you are doing. How did you win this? Because we believe that we are supposed to be the one to win, but we did. Why? What makes us different from them? We think from behind. They think from front. What could go right? But we thought, what could go wrong? Another thing is the checklist. Have a checklist of your projects or your life as a player. What are the milestones that needs to be reached at this particular point in time? Let me give you an instance of when I want to run events. Whenever I want to run an event, the first thing I do is create an Excel sheet. Before, I didn't do that. I just, oh, there's money, let's go to the event. And at the end of the day, we will spend more than we have planned. Apart from spending more than we have planned, we will not get the impact that we want to get. So it's a waste of time, waste of resources, and waste of energy. But now, these days, since I understand what Murphy is, I plan for every scenario that could happen. Everyone, everything. I create a checklist on Excel, down to the pin that we would need for the project is already marked. When are we getting this? How are we getting this? Where are we getting this? And for anything that we want to purchase or want to get from a vendor, we have more than one vendors. And that's the scenario planning. We look at the best case scenario, worst case scenario, likely cases. Okay, let me give you an instance. Last year, November, let me do 2023 first. In 2023, we had the Lagos Business and Policy Summit with Face of Liberty International in Unilag, and we have over 200 people in attendance. And last year, we said we're not going to school environment. We want to go to town where people that are actually making the policy are, and they will come and stuff like that. We prepared for 100 people. We sent out 100 requests, approved 100 requests. We prepared for 40. No, we prepared for 60, sorry. We prepared for 60. And at the end of the day, we have 40 showed up. Before, we would have prepared for the 100 that we sent out, approved, and they agreed to come. But now we understand more and when they go up, we will not be able to do anything about it. So we put in what's the worst case scenario. At the beginning of the event, my colleague was saying, Mr. Leon, we're only having like 8 people in the hall. It's like, are you not afraid? I'm like, why should I be afraid? Because we already put a buffer in the planning that worst come to worst, we will have 30. Then the 10 remaining, there is nothing called there's not a problem in us sharing the food and every other details that have been prepared for the remaining 10. But at least we will have 30. And at the end of the day, we had 40. 40 of them, we have 20 extra refreshments that can go for other people that helped us around at the event. Is it what we expected completely? No. Murphy did show up, but at least we are able to already know that he's going to show up and put that buffer into it. I already mentioned about time, and your resources. How do you put in these inside of each other? And for backup, for someone who was saying in the chat before that he lost a document, Okay, so what do you think you will have done right? Macau, are you still on the call? Is Macau still on? Kamau, are you still on the call? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. At this point, that document that you lost, what do you think you could have done better in order for Murphy not to strike you when he did strike you?
Okay, for me, I think what I could have done is to go and photocopy like 5 copies of those documents, so I could have been a safer place rather than having just one document with me.
Okay. No, what else should have help out in this scenario? You can use the chat, or you can just unmute yourself. What do you think he could have done? It's mentioned that he could have just photocopy like 5 of those documents and keep it. Do we have any other person that think of any other thing that you think he could have done better? Anyone? Okay. Kamal have a phone. Kamal, you have a phone, don't you?
Yes, I have.
What stopped you from taking a picture of that document and have it on your phone? Is there anything that stops you from doing that?
No, but taking that picture with my phone, it was not in my mind. So what was in my mind is just keeping that document in the hard copy.
Exactly. Now today, you are getting another understanding that you might have just taken a picture of it. Mary, let's hear your thoughts. What would Kamal have done better?
Okay, I think I can just advise on what I usually do. I always keep my documents on my Google Drive. I keep the soft copies, all of them on my Google Drive, and I make sure I keep everything, be it my social media URLs, because I can easily access them when I need them. So the ones of a hard copy, I keep them in one place, and I'm always seeing that file. So it's usually not easy for me, or it's not likely for me to lose them. So, but the Google Drive has worked for me a lot, and the Gmail, yeah.
Okay, great. So, Kamal, next time, you just hear what it says, what she mentioned, take a picture of it, save it on your Google Drive. It will be with you forever. Anywhere, anytime you need it. For someone like me, I do the same thing that Mary just mentioned. All the documents I have in this world, I can access it anywhere, anytime. Even if I'm not with my devices, I can always just get someone's device, log onto my account, and download. And I have my document. So keep that in mind. We want, okay, before we go to the next one, I want to introduce everyone to my book. It's called The 90 Days Hunger Plan to Success, Unlocking Your Potential and Transforming Your Life. It's available on Amazon and on seller.com. So if you want to get one for yourself, it's a book that basically discusses how no one should be poor more than 90 days. For it means what you call success. There's different things that people call success. But if your definition of success is getting to have what you need at a particular point in time and making your life worthwhile than what it used to be, then please 90 days hunger plan to success, unlocking your potential and transforming your life. Now, let's move forward. It's time for another poll, and it states, which Murphy proofing step will you try first? Add a backup plan. Let's use the chart. Add a backup plan. Build buffers in your time. Double check critical steps, or use the pre-mortem approach. Which one will you want to use first? Let's use the chat box. Add backup plan. You really need that, come on. Added a backup plan. So, do you mind telling us how you would apply that this week? You can unmute yourself, come up. Am I being heard? Okay. Checklist and a backup plan, even if it means having 10 alarms on my phone. Okay. I like that. Adding a backup plan, checklist, and a backup plan, even if it means having 10 alarms. Good. Some people are heavy sleepers. I know someone who set an alarm every 10 minutes on their phone. One of my colleagues have alarm every 10 minutes. And I think if I'm not mistaken, he has like 15 of that. There was a day we were together in the same room, and I slept, and around 3 something in the middle of the night, I just hear, so I pick up the phone and stop the alarm. And 10 minutes after, another alarm came up. 10 minutes after, another alarm came up. And guess what? I turned off the phone. I turned off the phone, and I woke him up. Collect your phone. Your alarm was trying to wake you. Like, how many times has he rang? I said 3. He said it's 3 minutes. That's how he will bring himself back from deep sleep back to light sleep before he wakes up. Okay, all right. I don't know how to do that. So everybody have what they want to do. Checklist and backup plan, even if it means having 10 alarms on my phone. Whoa. That's going to be... So what are the key takeaways of tonight? Murphy Law is not a cause. Instead, it's an early warning system. And the only way to actually beat Murphy is to expect, prepare, and prevent the chaos that could ensue from Murphy itself. And when you build small buffers into your projects or your life, as it were, it saves you a lot of stress. So learn, adjust, and remember, small failures does not do anything. Smile about it. Laugh about it. Because now you have learned. And when you've learned, you know what to do going forward. So what are the action points? One thing is that I want you to do this week is do a mini pre-mortem of one project that you're planning on doing. Do a one mini pre-mortem. What is the worst case scenario that can happen on this project? When you think about that worst case scenario, oh, I have this, I have the money, I have the venue, I have everything. What if people don't come? What do I need to do? How many people do I need to have to count this as a success? Let me give you an example. For this discussion this evening, I know there might not be people who wants to be on Zoom. What did I do? Went live on 5 different channels. YouTube is live, Facebook is live, Instagram is live, TikTok is live, and what is the other one? 5 plus Zoom, making it 6. So you may have 2-3 people on Zoom, you have 4 people, 5 people on LinkedIn, you have a number of people on TikTok. At the end of the day, by the time you combine everything together, you have up to 30, 40 people, and we're good. But just imagine we only have Zoom, and that's it. So how many people are you going to have at the end of the day? So what is the worst case scenario? What could go wrong in this project that you want to do this week? And once you notice what could go wrong, then you pick it up from there. Then start planning with what will go wrong. And at the end of the day, you will notice that there is nothing that will go wrong. So what is that one thing you are planning to do this week? Plan it on the negative. What will not make this go right? List what will not make it go right and start solving those one by one. Another thing that I would love you to do for everyone watching from any of the channels, whichever channel that you're watching on, is to please share this with your friend, with your team, and all. And next month, we are going to have another edition of this. It will be to understand the next life law. As it were, Murphy is just the foundation of the remaining 25 life laws that we have. Even though some of those life laws are intertwined one way or the other, but Murphy leads them all. And that is why we are starting with Murphy. In the next few weeks, we are going to walk around the other ones and explain how they can relate to our lives, our projects, and the things that we can do. Now, I mentioned something at the beginning that I was going to tell what I should have done to walk myself out of the scenario of the airport. It's just like the download. It's just like the lost document from Kamal. I should have just printed that document out, download it on my phone, and I swear. So as you go about your day, today, tomorrow, this week, why don't you try work on one project pre-mortem and make sure that you do everything that could make it wrong. Then start planning from there. And if it's not successful, come back and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. So this is one thing, one quote I want you to take home today. Murphy will always knock, but you will be the one to decide if you allow him to get in. Take that again. Murphy will always knock, but you decide if he gets in. So, thank you very much. Right about now, I will take any question if there's any question from anyone, and we can call it a day. Yeah. Okay, I see. I'm a believer of the law of attraction, and it talks about the danger of negative thinking. Okay. Isn't planning for failure negative thinking? How do I use both laws to my advantage? I like this. Kamal, let's hear you first, then I'll answer Mary Joyce's question. Kamal, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I was asking. Okay, I was asking if you can share a brief of that book of yours, the 90 days of hunger, plan to success. Yes, I'm very curious to understand the content inside.
Okay, so the beauty part of the story is for you to understand the content inside, you just need to get the book. It's not that expensive. If I'm not mistaken, it should be around $16.99 on Amazon, and on Seller, it's about 13,000 naira on Seller. But if you're not in Nigeria, Seller might be a bit difficult for you, but Amazon delivers worldwide. So yeah, basically. So basically, let me just give you a hint of what the 90-day hunger plan says. It basically tells you what you need to do within 90 days, 3 months, to go from your mindset of I can't do it to what will stop me? But what made it different from all the novels or whatever that all the books out there is it is not just about you reading. Inside of the book are worksheets where you will need to write, guide on, oh, this is what I want to do. This is how I need to get it done. So consider it as your mentor. The book is considered as your mentor in writing. Nobody's talking to you right now. This is now the book talking to you and working alongside you as you journeying your way every single day for the next 90 days. And this is the first in the series. It's a series of 5 books. This was launched in April 2025, and the second series is coming out October ending. It's actually, those on the call right now will have the opportunity to have access to, let me just see the topic. The topic is Beyond 90 Days. How do you maintain growth? So now you've gone from wherever you are to build your mindset as to the point that you are after the 90 days. But what happened after that 90 days? How do you sustain what you've built? So it's a book of 5 series, which will be released from now to the next 3 years. So after the 3, by 2029, all the 5 books will be in circulation. But for now, start with the 90-day hunger plan. Buy, read, and I can categorically tell you with all alacrity that you're going to enjoy it. I hope that answers your question. Come on.
Yes, you have answered my question. Thank you.
All right. Now let's go to Mary Joyce's question. I'm a believer of the law of attraction, and it talks about dangers of negative thinking. Isn't planning for failure negative thinking? All right. So planning for failure is not negative thinking. Actually, the law of attraction is the next law. This is the next law that we're supposed to deal with. But let me just give a brief about it. You are not thinking that, how will I put it? So negative thinking is basically you having this pessimistic mindset. Yes, that's the word. Negative thinking is pessimistic mindset. But in Murphy's law, you are not being pessimistic. You are being careful. That's the difference. You plan on the negative because you believe the negative will happen. But when you have negative thinking, you believe that this would happen and there is nothing stopping it from happening and there is nothing you can do about it. And that is where negative thinking is bad. There's a gray line, a very thin line between negative thinking and Murphy's law. But now let me try and explain it again. A pessimistic mindset is a negative thinking, the bad way. Murphy's law is you being optimistic, believing that this thing can go wrong, but I can change it. A negative thinker does not believe he can change it. It's negative, it stays negative. The law of Murphy says this is negative, but I can change it. It's in my power to change this negativity to positivity. I don't know if you understand that. Negative thinking, negative mindset, nothing can be changed. Murphy's law, this is negative, but I can work around making it sure that it works for me. That is the difference between them. So one tends to think negatively to plan the positive, while the other one stays in the negative and stay there, does not have any means of moving from that negative. So the law of attraction, as it were, says that anything that you think or what work around comes to you. Now remember, Murphy is planning for the positive using the negative. So the end in this case justifies the means. The end goal is to be on the positive side. So how do I use both laws to my advantage? I think I already answered that question. You can use both laws to your advantage. But please, the negative thinking side, don't think of it as negative. Now put Murphy on top of the negative thinking. Oh, it is negative. This thing can never go right. They now put Murphy on it to just press it and say, no, I have it in my power to change it. I can make it go positive. Then you will be fine. That's how the two of them work together. Okay. All right. Do we have any other person that have any question? We have about 3 more minutes. Okay. Lady Network of Economic Freedom, please, let's have you.
Yeah, I think Murphy Law was happening to me right here in my home, because I couldn't even join the meeting thoroughly. Okay, now I don't know, maybe my question might have been answered already, but I'll still ask in case it's not been answered. I am looking at the extreme worst case scenarios.
Okay.
So we are talking about life, our projects, but I want to look at life in general.
Okay. No, we can go anywhere. Are you still there? Hey. Has Murphy happened to I again?
So there was just that stuck with me some time ago about how two people marry thinking, everything is all right. They do not look at unforeseen circumstance and whatnot. How can you hear me?
We are hearing you, but struggling a bit.
Hello?
So go ahead. You see, Murphy just struck again. Okay, but we couldn't hear well. Do we have any other person that have any question or what have you that we can discuss, because the time is really not on our side now. I wish Angela could ask a question though. Let me check. Do we have any question on okay, there is no question. There's no question on LinkedIn. Oh, do we have any question? Do you have any question on other platform? Okay, I don't think we have question anywhere. All right, so like I mentioned, we are going to be discussing law of attraction next in the series. It's a series of about 25 laws. Some of them are intertwined, and we are going to be mixing those that were very close to each other. We will be mixing them together, and those that are not close together, they will be standing alone. But what we believe, or what I believe, is these laws need to be learned, because if all of us, most of us know what these laws are all about, then there will be a lot of things that we can actually solve without running hectare scatter or other moving one or two around. So, Ladies of Liberty, are you back? Someone is chatting. Oh, the Cosmos, there is no recording for this, but maybe would you say that Murphy Law is a good thing? Yes, rest. Murphy Law is a very good thing. I didn't mean you have joined us in the beginning. You will have seen while I'd explained how Murphy, okay, let me even use this slide. So if you can see the slide here, the key takeaways. Murphy's law is basically an early warning sign. I know, Rest, you are currently working on running a project. What are the things that could go wrong in that project? Can you unmute yourself and speak? Let's answer your question. Let's use a question to round up. Rest, can you unmute yourself and speak? Are you in a place you can speak?
It's a little noisy, but can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
What do you give us
what you
three
said.
things? Give us three things that could go wrong in your project.
Say the death of young people. I mean, that's like one of the biggest things that could go wrong.
Okay.
Not getting partnerships or investors to support team on what we do. And maybe say me myself, say natural circumstances, me falling sick or anything like that.
Great. So now what Murphy law says is you've identified three things amidst many other things that could go wrong in your event or your project or your life. Now, how do you solve this problem before they become a problem? How do you plan for this problem before they become a problem? You mentioned that what if you fell sick at a particular point in time or any natural occurrence happens to you? Why don't you already have someone that could replace you or do things that you're supposed to do if that happened? You already beat Murphy in that question. What if there is no partnership to get things done? Okay, if there is no partnership to get things done, can we do it in a way that even if we don't have a partnership, we will still run successfully? Should we plan a mini budget that we can raise within ourselves? Because we need this project to go out. Can we plan a mini budget? And if partnership come, we go with the bigger budget. At First of Liberty, the organization that I work with, what we do is for any that we want to do, we have three budgets. My team tends to call it the premium, the average, and the poor budget. So those three budgets help us. So whatever money now available to us closer to the project, we know which one we want to take. And those that have gone through our projects will know that, especially those that have been consistent with our project will know the difference in those times. There are differences. There are projects that we're going to run into be premium, money throwing around. You know that they spend a lot of money on this. And there are projects we will do, and you see that there is nothing thrown around because we don't have the partnership needed. So you prepare. What if something happens to a student in the school that, God forbid, maybe a natural occurrence of, say, death happened to a student in the school that you want to do the project and stuff like that, and now there is a protest on the day of the project? What do you do? Have you put in the space that you can say, hey, sorry, so we cannot do this, we need to postpone? Oh, because of this, can we do this? Have you put all those things in check? So that is basically what Murphy is. So it now depends on you. Do you think Murphy's law is a bad thing or a good thing? But to me, to my understanding, I believe it's a good thing because it helped me to see the problem before they happen. I use this both in my life, in my project, in my relationship, in everything I do. Murphy is my planning tool, and it has worked for me, helped me over the years, and I believe it can work for anybody. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Although it does trigger for that questions, but I'll ask later.
Oh, please, if you have other questions, let's have it.
Okay, got it. Cause I mean, on the extreme end of Murphy's law, right? It does say that if anything bad will happen, it will surely happen. So how do you prepare for a bad thing that will surely happen, even though you've prepared for it to happen, but eventually happens?
I think you just answered your question by yourself. You've already prepared for the bad thing to happen because you already now have a backup for that bad thing to happen. So when it did show up and happen, you already have the answer ready. You already have the solution ready. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, or it's me that I don't understand your question. Oh, okay. So you already know that this thing is going to happen, and you've prepared the solution before it happens. So if it eventually comes, I will get to run around it. Okay. I mentioned this at the beginning. I was traveling. I took everything I needed. My visa was on my phone, and I did not download it. Got to the airport. I wanted to download it. I tried every means possible. I could not download it. And because I could not download it, I missed my flight. And I had to book another flight completely out of no money that is not available. That money got wasted. A return ticket got wasted. And I have to book another return ticket. And guess what? It's not even Nigeria travel. It's outside the country. You know how expensive it will be. Why? Because I did not download. The solution was another flight. But the solution was not another flight. But I was not prepared. I was being stupid and foolish. Because I know that my visa was approved. All I'm supposed to do is just download the visa into my phone. But I didn't. I was like, it's just 545 kilobytes. How many minutes will that take me to download at the airport? I got to the airport and nothing worked. But just imagine that I have downloaded it before I left the house. Take a screenshot of it before. Maybe my phone might die, or I can get to the airport and just that your phone just hang up, your phone just pack up. It's never happened to you before. You're just using your phone and to just die, and it's not on again. I have like 2 phones in the house that does that to me. I should have kept it everywhere so that even worst come to worst, I will be able to get the document and travel. But I didn't do that. And that cost me close to 500,000 naira because I had to book another flight. And that was when flight was still a bit cheap. If it were to be now, God knows, I'm not going anywhere. I won't go to that trip. So you understand? So those are the things. When you already preempt the problem, the solution is already prepared. If Murphy say, hey, I am here, you just tell him, welcome. What can we offer you? And that is why we will end tonight with this code. Murphy will always knock. Remember that. But it is you who decide if he comes in. What happens if you put all those measures and the problem happens with the airline itself? Yes, it happens, but that day, airline does not have a problem. The problem was with me. So, there is something you can control and there's something you cannot control. We call it output and outcome. To a larger extent, outcome, you can't control it. Output, you can control it. The output on my end, I did not even control it. And that is because I didn't get those documents out. The outcome, leave the outcome to the airline. Let them not come on time. And I have insurance in place. What do you think will happen? I'll become a thousandaire in dollars. Because Murphy knocked on their door. Now they will now have to pay me. You see, on the other way around, Murphy knocked on their door, I get paid. It's to my advantage. But now it's me that is suffering because the disadvantage is from me. The airline is smiling because they've chopped my money, and I am crying because my money is gone. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It's really an amazing time for those online, on Zoom, or those on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we will be talking about the law of attraction next. The time and dates will be shared with every one of you, those that registered via Zoom, and those that my followers and subscribers on YouTube. you will receive a notification for the next one, and hopefully we will join in as we go about discussing these life laws and how we can use it in our day-to-day activities. If you would like to reach out to me, that is my email on the screen, and that is my phone number. WhatsApp only, please. WhatsApp only. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next month. Do have a lovely evening wherever you are.